Hey guys, welcome back to the Banger Bar. I am Sarah, and I want to remind you to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any sweet metal reviews. Speaking of which, this week I'm reviewing the 4th studio album by American metal act TOMBS. This one's called The Grand Annihilation, and it's out today on Metal Blade Records. So, first off, some history into TOMBS. The band formed in 2007 in Brooklyn, New York, and at the time there was a black metal scene that was emerging in the city. And the press kind of latched onto that. There was Krallice, there was Liturgy, there was TOMBS, and so a lot of people were kind of claiming that Brooklyn was the new epicenter of American black metal. That being said, all these bands don't really sound anything alike, and TOMBS in particular sticks out like a sore thumb. They're a band that really mashes a lot of genres together, so I think you need to hear it for yourself. Case in point, here's the opening track to the album. It's called Black Sun Horizon, and here's the intro. The TOMBS intro. This band is really good at kicking things into high gear immediately. They do all killer, no filler. They've done that on all their records. And here it is. It's heavy, it works, it's relentless, and I think pretty quickly you're gonna learn that TOMBS does a lot. Already, we're hearing the 90s black metal riff. This is a very iconic riff. It's the one that's going dun 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 dun. It's the kind of riff that you would hear in Dissection and Burzum. It's very iconically Scandinavian. And it's here that you're starting to see why TOMBS has been associated with the black metal movement. It's because they like their tremolo picking and they like their blast beats. But they also like a lot of other genres. Here's an example. Oh man, can we cross-reference that segment with the intro to Slaughter of the Soul? Fuck, you should probably listen to the first 7 seconds of that song because that is iconic Tompa Limburg. This final song clip really reminds me of what TOMBS did when they started out with their 2009 debut, Winter Hours. When the band started out, they were associated with post-black metal, but they were also very strongly associated with sludge. And when I say sludge, I mean Buzz Oven and I Hate God. And that kind of sludge is the stuff where you throw Fugazi into a blender with a swamp and fill it with hate and then throw it at the wall and see what comes out. It's just a very slow, dirgy, hate-filled sound. And TOMBS does this quite well, and they utilize that genre quite excessively. But as they've gotten older, they've used sludge less. And on this record, you don't hear it that much. So that's the end of Black Sun Horizon, which is the opening song. And quite frankly, I don't really like what's happening there. I think it's a little bit too slow. Musically, I like what's going on, but from a lyrical or a vocal perspective, I just don't really think it works. But that being said, the similar style carries over to track 2. And in track 2, for some reason, it seems very reminiscent of Bolzer. This is Cold, track 2. So I think already you should be kind of understanding that TOMBS kind of does subgenre Olympics, and I think that that's why this band might be polarizing for some people. It's sometimes hard to decide if you like something when you can't really compare it to other things. I find that a lot of listeners find that too challenging. And TOMBS, they go from black metal to death metal, later on into sludge metal, into post-punk, all these other things. And I think that that's a little bit hard for people to absorb. So, for example, on the band's 2009 debut, Winter Hours, They mostly utilized sludge and also flirted with a lot of other genres. When they got out to their second record, which was 2011's Path of Totality, they really upped the post-punk influences and went for a slower burn than the very sludgy album that was previous to it. On their 2014 album Savage Gold, they picked up Hate Eternal's mastermind Eric Rattan for production and made their heaviest record yet. This one was really informed by sludge, death metal, and black metal, and they are continuing to do this seamless transition all throughout the Grand Annihilation. So I've already shown you the black metal and some of the death metal and a little bit of the sludge, and now I really have to show you all the post-punk. So although most of this song is very post-punk oriented, the beginning of it is actually very chugging and kind of core-ish, and I'm struggling to find anything to compare it to. Here's the intro to November Wolves. And now it's going post-punk. Think Joy Division, Bauhaus, and my personal favorite, Birthday Party. So this might be a little confusing because instrumentally this song is very heavy and you're hearing two layers of vocals. There's the more talking singing style and also the growling behind it. And the talk singing style is the one that's really reminiscent of post-punk. And I think that you're probably starting to form really strong opinions about TOMBS right now. And this is why I have a strong opinion about TOMBS as well. I find that they just are constantly integrating so much into their music. It's almost hard to tell where one thing begins and the other ends, and it doesn't always work that well. So despite this, I actually do have a very positive opinion about TOMBS, even if I don't really like them. I think it's incredibly important for metal bands to be incorporating diverse influences into their music. And I touched on this with the Vampire review, and what a lot of the Swedish death metal bands are doing is that they're bringing more diverse influences into the fold. And the reason why this is so important is because the metal scene right now is awash with copycats. I could go on for a long time pulling clips from these songs and showing you how diverse this record is, but I really think that you're getting the point. And whether or not you like TOMBS is going to hinge on whether or not you like this progressiveness that I've been referring to the entire review. The band is going all over the place, and in some places it's challenging to listen to, and other places it's very seamless, depending on your personal taste. For example, check out this very Fields of the Nephilim oriented segment in Underneath. It's got this vicious, heavy groove going on, but underneath you're also hearing the goth and the post-punk influences. So as you can hear, you've got the floating guitars, you've got clean vocals, and then you have a very heavy drum beat that's pretty buried in the mix. And this consistency is all courtesy of band mastermind Mike Hill. He has spearheaded the band throughout their entire tenure, and even though they've gone through numerous members, they still manage to have a very consistent sound. And I think it's because there's one person who's in control of the whole project. This album continues along this way. The songs all go all over the place. For example, track 6, The Way of the Storm, it goes back to full-on black metal. And then finally, we reach the final track. It's called Temple of Mars, and it gets to this point where it's very big in scope and it's super groovy. It's a great album ender. There you have it. It's slow, it's sludgy, it's black metal, it's death metal, and it's TOMBS. This is TOMBS. It's sludge metal, black metal, death metal, post-punk, all crammed into one package. And the thing is if you already like TOMBS, you're gonna think that this album is fucking fantastic. If you don't know them, you're probably gonna think that too, if you're okay with experimentation. Quite frankly, this album is very likely to appear on Best of 2017 lists. It's probably gonna be in the top 5 for most major magazines. For skillfully merging a myriad of heavy music genres together into a cohesive, challenging, and fucking fantastic whole, I'm giving the Grand Annihilation 4 out of 5 skulls. If you like this kind of music, I have 2 very insistent recommendations for you. Both bands that integrate a whole bunch of weird styles into their own thing. First up is Grease's own Locust Leaves. The band released a subtler kind of light via I Voidhanger earlier this year, and it's a black metal progressive masterwork. The other band is Lunar Shadow. The band released Far From Light earlier this year via Cruz del Sur, and that one is prog, power, death, and it is fucking kick-ass. If you want more kick-ass recommendations, don't forget to subscribe. I'm Sarah, and this is Overkill Reviews.